What did Jesus do during the 3 days between his death and resurrection? In this video, we're going to discuss where did Jesus go during the 3 days after his death and before his resurrection. So let's get started. It is written in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John that Jesus was crucified for about 6 hours before he died. In his final moment, he said the words, "It is finished." In the book of John, chapter 19, verse 30, it states that he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. His body remained on the cross for a short time before it was taken down and wrapped by Joseph for burial with the help of Nicodemus. After 3 days, his body and spirit were reunited, and he rose from the dead. After his resurrection, he appeared to his disciples, starting with Mary Magdalene. Following this, he ascended to heaven. However, many wonder what happened during the 3 days between his death and resurrection. Where did Jesus go? What did he do? The Bible, especially the Synoptic Gospels, does not provide comprehensive accounts of what Jesus did during those 3 days, which are also referred to as the harrowing of hell or his descent into hell. The Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John mainly focus on the events surrounding Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection. The period between his death and resurrection is more deeply rooted in theological interpretations and tradition than in explicit biblical narratives. However, we can still gain an understanding of this significant period. One of the clearest indications of where Jesus was during the 3 days following his death can be found in his conversation on the cross. According to the Bible, Jesus was crucified alongside 2 thieves. One of them asked Jesus to remember him when Jesus entered his kingdom, as stated in Luke chapter 23, verse 42. Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." In response, Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." This implies that after his death, Jesus went to paradise or heaven. This makes sense because, at the moment of his passing, Jesus declared the surrender of his spirit into the hands of God, who, according to our understanding, could only reside in a place of great joy and eternal love, which we call heaven. In 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 18 to 20, there is a specific account of where Jesus went. It says that, "Since Christ, who was without sin, died once for all sinners to bring you to God, he was put to death in the body, but made alive in the spirit. After being made alive, he went and made proclamation to the imprisoned spirits. To those who were disobedient long ago, when God waited patiently in the days of Noah while the ark was being built. In it, only a few people, 8 in all, were saved through water." This passage can provide 2 interpretations. First, it can be understood that Jesus, between his death and resurrection, went to hell or Hades and made an announcement to the imprisoned spirits there. In this view, the spirits Jesus referred to might be demons, humans, or even fallen angels. It's possible that the spirits mentioned in the passage are fallen angels. Angels who were imprisoned for disobeying God's law alongside Lucifer. The reference to the flood of Noah suggests that the disobedience occurred before Noah's time, although the passage doesn't explicitly state what Jesus said to these imprisoned spirits. Although it seems unclear whether this was a message of salvation, as stated in Hebrews 2:16, angels cannot be saved. It is likely that Jesus proclaimed his victory over Satan and his followers. In this perspective, Jesus went to hell to declare his triumph and announce his victory over death and Satan. Another Bible passage that may provide us with insight into the whereabouts of Jesus during the 3 days between his death and resurrection can be found in Ephesians 4:8-10. It states, "When he ascended on high, he took many captives and gave gifts to his people." This implies that he ascended, whatever that means, also indicating his descent to the lower earthly regions. The one who descended is also the one who ascended higher than all the heavens in order to fill the whole universe. In Paul's writings, referencing Psalm 68:18, it is stated that when Jesus ascended on high, he led captives in his train. Some connect this to the idea that after securing their salvation on the cross, Jesus gathered all the saved who were in paradise and brought them to their permanent home in heaven. Individuals such as Abraham, David, Joshua, Daniel, Lazarus, and the thief on the cross, as well as others who had previously been justified by faith, are thought to be among those whom Jesus brought from Hades, the abode of the dead, to their new spiritual home. This interpretation is provided by some of the texts to explain where the holy individuals went from the time of Jesus until his ascension. One way to interpret Ephesians 4 is to consider that during the 3 days between his death and resurrection, Jesus triumphed and imprisoned our spiritual enemies, such as the devil, death, and the curse of sin. After this, he ascended on high, which means he returned to heaven in victory as God. This perspective is also based on Matthew 12 verse 40, which states, "For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a huge fish, so the Son of Man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." It is important to note that the details of exactly what happened during those 3 days are not explicitly described in the Bible. As a result, various viewpoints and interpretations on this matter are accepted by different Christian traditions. However, we have the words of Jesus regarding this matter. He said, "I tell you today, you will be with me in paradise." This gives us confidence that he went to paradise after declaring his victory over death and completing his work of redemption. What is your opinion in our video today? Comment down below.